Observer Players, Jeremy C. Rod, and I bring you some awesome One Piece card game content here with a tier list. I'm gonna be going over every single leader that's in One Piece card game, and I'm gonna give you my honest opinion based on what I have seen all over LA. I have seen the meta here, and I'm gonna give you what I think is the best tier list at the moment based on the meta. I mean, that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you agree? Disagree? Let's get going. All right, so I'm gonna start off with D tier. D tier are gonna be the decks that are not that powerful, and unfortunately they are not winning at tournaments almost never. So I'm gonna only give one spot a D tier because I have not seen this leader win yet. I need to see it win at least a couple games in order for me to put it higher in the rankings. But right now, D tier is gonna go to my boy King. I mean, I know he's a very powerful deck and he's a very powerful leader, but what I don't like about him is that you have to be a very good pilot of purple or know how to maneuver the purple cards very well in order to make this deck really take off. So unfortunately, the ability of just giving 1000 minus power to your opponent's cards if you have 10 Dawn is very difficult to do. Pretty much your leader doesn't do anything until you have 10 Dawn, and that's why it gets D tier. Now let's go into C tier. Now C tier are the decks that could steal a couple wins here and there and potentially could go and maybe win a first place at a tournament, but that means you have to be an ultra pilot of the deck and know how to go against every other deck with these decks. That's the only way you're gonna win first place, and you have to be like really darn good and go against decks that don't automatically kill you. So I have 3 decks in the C tier, and it's gonna be Uta, you know, the singing girl from the new One Piece movie film Red. She's gonna get C tier. She's pretty cool. She gives the power to your skillless cards, which is pretty insane to me. And on top of that, she's you know, a cool character, and she's a promo, so she could be good. I think she could be good. Just with a very good pilot of the deck and somebody that builds a very good skillless theme deck, I think you can make Uta pop. Another C tier in the list, I'm gonna give it to Odin, the swordsman. The reason I'm gonna give it to him for the C tier is because of the fact that, I mean, he is pretty good for green. He's able to restand his Dawn, restand characters and do multiple attacks and things like that. But I haven't seen this deck win that often. I still haven't seen anybody top at any of the tournaments around Los Angeles area, and I have been going to a lot of tournaments around the area. And unfortunately, I've seen a lot of people play this deck. Maybe the pilot hasn't been brought to shine yet. Maybe somebody out there can make this guy really good, but he's going to be C tier for now. And for the C tier, the final deck is going to go to Mr. Crocodile. I'm going to give it to Crocodile. He is a starter deck. He is pretty darn good. Maybe he fits into the B tier, but I threw him into C tier just because nobody plays him anymore ever since there's other better blue leaders. People don't really want a -4 to remove a card anymore, so he hits kind of like the C tier. You can still win with it. You can still win first place. I'm saying all these decks have potential, but I really don't think that Crocodile is going to be up there in the tiers anymore because there's better blue leaders out there. Now let's go into the B tier. Who's hyped for the letter B? Well, we got Kaido starting it off, but the dual color Kaido, not the purple Kaido, the dual color Kaido hits B tier. It's a pretty darn cool, strong leader that's able to get you an extra Dawn whenever you kill one of their cards. But that's kind of, you know, hard to do when your opponent plays around that ability of yours, making sure that you don't KO any of their stuff. So that's why it's B tier. It's a very powerful deck, but it's hard to actually get it going off if you play against somebody that's really good and knows how to play against it. And it's pretty easy to play against a Kaido. Well, this Kaido right here. All you got to do is just avoid getting your cards killed. Another B tier that could potentially be A tier is going to be Luffy, the dual color leader. Now, the reason I put this guy in B tier and not A tier is because he starts off with 4 lives. These guys are not powerful enough to start off with 4 lives. Like, their abilities are cool. Like, Luffy's ability is able to restand one of your characters and attack again with 1,000 boost power. But for 4 Dawn, I mean, you'd rather attach those Dawn sometimes just to attack with multiple other cards. But, I mean, it could be very situational. You can use that for extra attacks and pushes with that ability. So, you know, do not underestimate the dual color. Red is very aggro and green is very control. So, combine both of that, you got aggro control. Beast. Then, the other dual color leader is the other crocodile leader. Now, this crocodile leader is in B tier because it's just not powerful enough, in my opinion, to be able to really get that A tier. It's good, don't get me wrong, it's good. It's able to draw cards when you activate event cards, which is pretty cool, but you do have to have a certain size limit, so that limits you from being able to have a fat hand and actually make this leader awesome and crazy. But he's still a very powerful leader because you have access to the big purple dudes like King and Kaido, and then you got access to the big blue dudes like Doflamingo and Dracula. So yeah, awesome engine when you mix them up, but unfortunately you do got to run a lot of event cards, and sometimes you don't want to run too many event cards, so it's very defensive, and you know, haven't seen anybody do extremely well with it yet. So I'm gonna put it at B tier. Now, A tier. We got 3 other decks from set 1 making it into A tier. We have Law, the dual color Law. Now, this is the dual color leader that actually made it to the top tiers. Now, I put Law in A tier and not S tier because I still haven't seen Law consistently win first place at multiple events. I have not seen it. I've seen it top, almost get to first place, but not first place consistently, and I've seen some really darn good players play this deck. Law's extremely powerful, and it can win first place with a good pilot, and of course getting the right matchups in a tournament. Nonetheless, this guy is beast because you have access to the blue and, I mean, what am I saying, blue, to the green and the red, and on top of that, you're able to flip-flop the colors when you have a whole field, and that right there allows you to do some extensive plays. But of course, your opponent usually knows to make sure to clear the field when going against Law. So A tier goes to Law. Another A tier is Doflamingo. Doflamingo is an insane leader, guys. He's able to build field presence with his ability with just having 2 Dawn under it, and for 1 Dawn you could reveal the top card of your deck and just bring it out onto the field if it happens to be a 7 Warlords, and the deck usually runs a lot of 7 Warlords, and it organizes your deck in a way so you pretty much know what you're gonna draw all the time, and that right there is broken if you are a pro player. So Doflamingo could have made it to S tier, but I gotta see a lot more Doflamingo up there in the top tables for me to say it is S tier. But right now it's A tier. Luffy is going to be A tier. I'm gonna throw him up in A tier, guys. He's pretty darn good. A good pilot could destroy almost every deck. It doesn't have the advantages of other decks that are in the S tier, but it is extremely strong, guys. Able to give a Rested Dawn to any of your characters, giving them abilities like Rush, which allows them to attack upon being played. You could boost up for free every turn, 1,000 power. I mean, Luffy is versatile and awesome to play. A tier without a doubt. Now, the S tier, the top tier, the best of the best. These are the 3 leaders that are S tier. from set 1 so far. We got Kid. Yup, Captain Kid. He's one of my favorite. I got first place with him in the first 2 weeks of One Piece being out, and this guy is beast. It's just an amazing leader. He's able to attack twice by trashing one of your cards. You have so many awesome plays and searching abilities with the green in set 1. Kid is just an overall well-rounded of a deck. It's just very well-rounded. S tier for sure. Now, the other S tier in the tier list is Zoro. Of course, he's S tier because everybody is playing Zoro and everybody is winning with Zoro first place. First place Zoro here, first place Zoro there. Is it because of the fact that everyone's playing Zoro? Or is it the fact that Zoro is beast? Or is it a combination of both? I think it's a combination of both. Zoro is amazing, guys. For 1 Dawn, he's able to boost your entire field by 1,000, allowing you to go extremely wide and push for game with a lot of rush attacks. And Zoro is just a beast. A beast. Now, the last leader and the last character that made it into this and the most wanted, in my opinion, right now, is Kaido, guys. Kaido. This guy has the horns for a reason. He comes in and just destroys the field with big body monsters. I'm talking about like King, that's 7,000 power. We're talking about Kaido, that's over 10,000 power plus, guys. We have so much. We got queens in here. Kaido is also able to -7 Dawn. The actual leader is able to burn a life, and then you get your Dawn like nothing because your leader and your deck is just busted and you can get extra Dawn. Yup, Kaido is S tier without a doubt. Might be one of the best decks if it had a little bit more filtering in it. Like if you could search cards, Kaido would be busted. But nonetheless, that is the tier list of set 1. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to hit me a like, subscribe, and I'm going to be doing a whatnot. So definitely make sure to get $15 for free by clicking on the link below. And we are going to have some Japanese and some One Piece booster boxes. And some people always get some sick deals on the super whatnot. So definitely click on the link below and join us. And like we always say, y'all stay super.